Galactic and Earth History. Part 6. Researched, written, and produced by Aaron Scudder. Special thanks to Ashiana Dean for source material. The formation of the personality is different from the part of your consciousness that is the spirit. The spirit exists before the body is formed. Once a spirit integrates into a physical body, a personality develops. A personality that develops naturally will be in harmony with the world, and the universe will develop along with the spirit. Naturally, without interference, a person would understand their eternal divine nature and begin to develop new capabilities. When consciousness expands, then more DNA comes online. Humanity has not had the privilege of consciousness and DNA expansion, which is natural evolution, since Atlantis. We have been raised in a way that if we were to be exposed to the knowledge of our divinity, then we would not know how to behave or think. An ideological healing is needed if we want to get to that place of harmony with the universe, perhaps the version of heaven that religion promises. Then an ideological healing would be necessary. This applies not only to an individual but also applies to the whole of humanity who have been raised on falsehoods. The truth is that we are eternal, and the original human genetic code was angelic. There was a time when death was not natural and not normally experienced. People could choose to ascend, which is the ability to demanifest in matter form at will, with the knowledge and mastery of the universe's natural mechanics. Angelic humanity has had its memory wiped, and without memory of their divine nature and abilities, humanity has become lost and feels abandoned. Since Atlantis, people have been told they are lowly and evolved from apes and life has no purpose. They are told that God will love you, but only if you are obedient, and if not, you will go to hell and the devil will eat your soul. Losing memory of our divine nature was traumatic enough, but to add salt to the wound, we have been told that we are insignificant. At a genetic level, DNA codes were removed from the human genome that connected humanity to God. This interference changed the biological holding ability for consciousness, which means that the vessel of consciousness, the human body, is distorted. This distorted vessel has created a distorted image of self. Our ideas about ourselves are not based on knowledge of divine origin and eternal life. We are the children that are born of a lie, raised on lies that have been passed down from one generation to the next. This victimization of the human race happened during the Atlantean period, which ended around 10,000 BCE. Along with the religious and scientific perspectives, the New Age movement has come along and attempts to bridge the gap between science and religion. The New Age movement, however, is more mind control garbage designed to encourage non-action in a belief that our space brothers will save us when things get rough. Most people accept the common beliefs of the people they are around. If you are born in the Middle East, you might be Muslim. If you are born in Israel, then Jehovah would be your God. Religious dogma always contains an element of truth, and people intuitively recognize and are attracted to the truth. However, there is enough distortion in religious dogma that the truth would not make a difference in people's lives. Concepts like "do unto others as you would have them do unto you," or "as ye sow, so shall ye reap," basic truths. However, because of the distortions, people really do not practice these things in their lives. For the most part, a Christian, or a Muslim, or a Jew is just as selfish as one who does not proclaim a God. The king lines from Atlantis have come down to us today as the Illuminati lines. They used the divine teaching and turned it into controlled dogmas. One purpose for the lies embedded in religions is to create a self-image for a race so it forgets who it was and what it came here to do, and what power it has. The law of one has been taken out of the consciousness of the bulk of humanity. The law of one states that we are all part of God and are thus all connected. As one suffers, all suffer. The image that people have of themselves was implanted from a young age and reinforced by parenting, schooling, the media, and religion. This image has very little to do with reality. When children are abused, punished at school or at home, what does that do to their self-image? There are children who have been physically and sexually abused. The result on the child's self-image is devastating. People are raised on emotionally and physically abusing other people, and they do this because they have forgotten who they truly are and their connection to others. People put hate before love, and selfishness and acquisition before sharing. Another false notion is that you can own parts of the earth, and some indigenous cultures, for example, Native American and Aboriginal, understand that you cannot lay claim to the divine. Some people want to believe that things are how they should be, and we do not need to look into the past to find out about our origins and how things went badly wrong. Things are very far from okay on this planet. The wars, dictatorship, exploitation of people, these things are part of a distorted paradigm. There should not be so much cruelty, or any cruelty in this planet. How many children die every day? How many people are murdered or tortured for speaking the truth? What is wrong with this place? If people think that the current state of humanity is okay, then I would hate to see not okay. If we are not already living in hell, then I would hate to see how worse hell could get. There is hope, and plenty of good people on this planet whose hearts are in the right place but who have been fed on the lies passed down from one generation to the next, all the way back to Atlantis. A metaphor for the state of humanity would be a skinny girl who decides she is fat because of the false image of beauty in popular culture. Unrealistic expectations of image have made this girl feel fat and horrible to the point where she almost dies of starvation trying to reach a so-called ideal weight. When she looks in the mirror, she sees a fat person, but the mirror is reflecting a skinny person. In the same way, humanity has a distorted self-image, and these are all of the things that give people a limited image of themselves. These core lies are that we are powerless, insignificant, and lowly ape descendants. The law of one and ascension mechanics. The teaching was quite scientific, dealing with the underlying energetic mechanisms through which reality is created and the processes through which consciousness evolves. The science of ascension was the primary belief model around which societies were structured. The ascension teachings, including the law of one and natural law, gave power to the common person, including power over their destiny. This teaching was distorted by control-oriented political groups and priests and rabbis. The true teachings were distorted or destroyed to control the populations because empowered people cannot be controlled or manipulated by outside authorities, and so knowledge was taken away from the masses, so the elite could hold them under their power. Very little remains of the original teachings, and portions of the teachings survived through the mystical schools of the ages, kept under strict secrecy, as the politically controlling factions of various periods persecuted those who attempted to bring the truth to the populations. This persecution is through various religious organizations whose teachings have been highly distorted to keep people powerless and subservient to religious authority figures. The science of ascension was withheld from the masses. Still, the promise of ascension was used to manipulate people into supporting and obeying the authorities who claimed that ascension could be accomplished only by blind belief and adherence to their politically motivated creeds. The covert influence of the power elite has contaminated human consciousness with the elitist, controlling creed. Human consciousness has been tainted with lies and distortions, progressively leading human culture into an elitist, materialistic, dualistic perception of reality. The perception has formed the underlying belief base upon which culture is organized. The original sacred teaching about the law of one is largely unknown by the general population. The original sacred teachings were about unity, consciousness, and love, cooperation and respect towards all other life forms. It did not appoint some groups as being godly and others as evil. It taught of the necessity for equality between peoples and genders and the need to heal and integrate all aspects of society. The original teachings promoted kindness, gentleness, tolerance, and power through comprehension of sacred energy mechanics and consciousness embodiment of the God force. They did not teach that God was a male authority figure who passed judgment upon sinful, inferior humans. They did not teach that the male gender was formed in the image of God and the female was a lesser part extracted through the godly male to hold a position of subservience to men. The original creed did not endorse the exploitation of the plant, animal, and mineral kingdoms for personal sustenance and materialistic gain. It taught respect and reverence for all life. The original teachings did not teach good or evil. It taught that evil deeds resulted from ignorance of the true structure of the universe and that evil was cured by education through the law of one. It also taught that people were created to be free. The elitist, sexist, materialistic distortions to the true laws of God motivated everything from the holy wars through history to the structures upon which economic, political, and social organization has been built. The distortions of creed benefit have repressed humanity for the benefit of the few elitists and have caused humanity to lose comprehension of its divine source and the true potential of its evolutionary heritage. This creed has been a poison to human society, and the pain, disease, war, competition, hatred, and violence that have colored the human condition throughout history and into the present make clear how powerfully these distortions have affected humanity. It would help people to realize that the creed taught since childhood was given so that human evolution would remain under the control of the elite for exploitation. True spirituality lives within, and it is through that inner truth that you will be able to separate the chaff from the grain regarding your spiritual and physical evolution. New teachings promoting the law of one and natural law will be portrayed as evil and discredited. Once humanity becomes aware of the law of one and the unity consciousness created through its practice, control organizations will no longer be able to lead the people blindly. The people will choose freedom and knowledge over ideological imprisonment. They will choose love, equality, and a personal relationship with the creative force of judgment, devaluation, hatred, fear, subservience, and blind worship of self-promoting outside authority figures. This evolution of self-concept and redefinition of reality will take time. Still, through this process, humanity will progressively grow to become free, and, through its freedom will come to understand its co-creative relationship with the divine.